the weekly roundup on SA Footballer TV. I'm your host, Tommy Javor, with
Darcy Evans
and
Wayne Knowles.
Hopefully you've watched the other segments, you know what we do and where we're from and why we do it. Also thanks to our great sponsors who you see behind us every week. Without their support, we wouldn't be getting paid the big bucks. Darcy, you're going to start us off. You're going to tell us all about the shootout at Gunner Park.
It was at Gunner Park, so a very low-scoring affair out there, and poor kick by Hector just got out of jail by 3 points. So it's 4-14, 38 to Elizabeth, 5-5-35. So low-scoring game.
8 more scoring shots, and they haven't got the chocolate.
By 3 points. They've got the chocolate by 3 points. So look, very low scores. You've got Shepherd 2, then 1 to Hahn, James, and Platten. Heckville was just all singles with Smith, Bailey, Abili, Roach, and Ingle. So yeah, that's just a very low-scoring game. So good win in the end of the day. Win by 3 points, a win's a win.
And a pretty much business as usual for the best players. For Elizabeth, Trent Greenshields as always in there with the likes of Thornton Hall. For Hectorville, you can probably guess it was Francis, along with Roach and Pete Francisco. He loves the disco. He sure does. All right, we'll get on to our next one, which is CBC Old Collegians. 12-8-80, Pulteney 8-8-56. Now, it didn't go to air last week, but I was the only one that tipped CBC, wasn't I?
You were.
I was, and I ran into...
We ate it when he was
I remember those ones, and I ran into Aldo Floriani. It's just he's been on my level one, well, not my level one, level one I was at on Wednesday night, and just touched up the coaching skills, and what do you know, had a win, got him over the line, was the catalyst. That's the story I'm telling. Away from home
with it.
Yep. So for CBC, Strange kicked 4, Malgary and Boulder both kicked 2s with a few singles. For Pulteney, you probably wouldn't find this hard to guess. Age kicked 4, Jessen kicked 2 and some singles. CBC better players, Strange, Owens and Harris, whilst for Pulteney it was Barris and Winton, the better players, boys. So I guess the moral of the story is when I talk, please listen. Next game, please, Wayne.
Next game was out there at St Dominic's over there, Park 2 there near the swimming centre.
Is that really what it's called?
Yes. Blackfriars, 17 goals, 1,416, defeated Glenunga, 12 goals, 1,385. Goal scorers for Blacks, Brincat with 4, Iluanu with 3, Trav Hillman with 3, Martin with 3. But for Glenunga, Chatty Burke piped up again with another 5, 3 to Ward, 2 to Prosser. Best players, Brincat best on ground for Blacks.
The big ruckman.
Yeah, the big ruckman, yep. Iluanu, Harmer, Vo, Brad Hillman and Fake. And for Glenunga, Ward, Prosser, Burke, Hankey and Foley.
Beautifully done there, Wayne. On to our next one. It was a big game because I made a very silly statement late last year when Rosewater employed Stephen, Steamboat, and I offered to do some sort of disgusting act if Rosewater didn't make the 5, but they're looking the goods now. It was Rosewater 9-12-66, Greenacres 7-4-46. Goal kickers, please, Darcy.
It was, yeah. So for Rosewater, we got to Scott with 4, then 1 each to Marnie, Court, Shah, Taylor and Brooke, and for Greenacres, Bruin with 2, Shanahan, Polkinghorn, Clark, Rantassa. Taylor and Little. Yep. Rantassa back in there just with the 1 though, but he still has his name there every week.
Made his appearance. So Rosewater better players, Scott, Williams, Brooke, Marnie, and for Greenacres, they didn't provide them.
Not happy.
So we're not going to say it.
No.
All right. Next one,
Steamboat was going to do something this year, so he's up in the...
I said if Rosewater didn't make the 5, I would drink a very vile fluid.
Shouldn't make things on it.
Oh, I know.
Okay, another game. Game of the round. It was game of the round, we said last week.
Grand final rematch.
Grand final replay from Div 6 last year. Lockleys, 15 goals, 5-95, defeated Smithfield, 6 goals, 11-47.
And it was at?
It was out at Smithfield, triple header.
Big win, isn't it?
Big win out there. Boys were all over them early on. I didn't actually make it out there because me being tied up with Lockleys this year. I didn't make it out there with my Glenelg commitments, but was getting the reports via phone. The boys were all over him very early and a very good win.
You'd have to take a bit of credit for that, wouldn't you?
Zwecky's very happy. Goal kickers for Lockleys, Narcy's with 6, Tommy Russo with 5, DeTulio, Stormont, Martinello and Raffinelli. For Smithfield, grade 2, singles of Varco, Webber, McGrath and Ashby. Best players, Russo, Heath, Martinello, Voisey and Narcy's there at Lockleys. And at Smithfield it was Norton, Gray, Thompson, Lane and Matty Stewart.
Beautifully done. Now, you weren't there, so it's pretty hard to comment on a game you weren't at, but do you think perhaps the loss of, was it Ian Bellman, the Smithfield Roman, is that perhaps stopping the feed to the on-ballers? What's happened? Smithfield were untouchable for 2 years?
Yes. Loss of Bellman, they've lost that major structure in the middle, which is really affecting them, I've been told. Z-Man was very happy with all accounts. We absolutely destroyed him through the middle. and stood up when needed. So very happy. Things are moving quite nice there at Rutland Avenue.
Yeah, well done. Yes, home of the D's.
Yes.
See, Martinelli gets the best players.
Yeah, Big H. He's beside his hair. He goes around.
Guy from The Simpsons a little bit.
He looks like Sideshow Bob. He does.
Sideshow
Yep.
Bob.
He does.
Can play footy.
Liam Narcy's piped up with 6.
Tell us a bit about Narcy's.
Narcy's come from BMW up in the northern areas, which is Bullaroo, Melrose and Wilmington. Been up there for a couple of years.
That was I never knew what it was.
Did you know that? There you go. Been up there for a couple of years. Just a handy little rover.
Rover type, yeah.
Pretty, very hard at the footy, in and under, and pipes up and likes to kick goals. So
Does he start down forward?
no, started on the ball. He's
That's
part of my
fantastic.
midfield group.
Fantastic effort. Right, let's get on to this week's games. We've got some crackers. Can Smithfield bounce back? We'll find out this week when they take on CBC at, what do they call it these days?
Audi Arena.
Audi Arena at Theberton, okay? So
Audi Arena. Yeah.
Changed the airport. It was an airport last year.
it was Adelaide Airport Stadium.
Stadium,
Yeah.
Audi
Apparently
Arena.
the airport's gone down to
Yeah.
Audi Arena. And so this one isn't it's a neutral venue.
Big ground, big deck.
Yeah, so look,
Big
I'm
deck.
going, who's the fitter then? So, because it's a
I'm-
big deck.
I'm going to go CBC
Yeah,
myself.
Young fit side.
Yes.
Jumped on the Aldo Flow bandwagon.
Oh, so here we go.
He's
Yeah,
right
no,
for the week.
no, Tommy. I'm just going to put that down to pure fitness. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it being a very high scoring affair. Look, we talked about the fact that Smithfield have been so dominant, they had to get to a point where
They had a lull.
yeah, and that'll really challenge you to see how they respond. Coach of Smithfield is still
Dave Thompson, yes. Yeah, time.
Be interesting to see if he puts the acid on the boys to respond. It's a big game. For the first time in a couple of years, they find themselves outside the 5, but only on percentage. They can go as high as 3rd if they win this. I'm going to take the Dolphins because I'm expecting big things from them this year.
Okay, next one,
Did you
Hectorville. I did, yes, I picked Seabot.
We all picked Seal.
Yeah,
That's
we did. Based on fitness, based on big ground.
Yeah, big ground.
Up there at Darnio, we've got Hectorville and Rosewater.
Yep.
I'll go for Rosewater in this one. I think they're on fire at the moment. The Steamboat, he's new to the club, putting a few structures in place. Rosewater for me.
Yeah, I was very nervous after their loss, but I just think, there's a lot of... actually down at Rosewater before we came down to the beautiful Port Hotel.
Portland Hotel.
Portland Hotel.
Yeah,
Because they'll know.
Get it right, exactly. But we can't get the wrong sponsor in there.
No,
Tom.
thank you very much, Portland Hotel. Good
Yes.
people. And look, I'm really impressed to see even guys out there on a Monday night. Just
There's
having a
quite a
kick.
crowd here tonight.
Yeah, and another thing just on
Who were
Rosewater.
here? Let's come down and watch the boys on.
I know.
How good is this? They're producing this little booklet, and as a player, this is great. I mean, hard copy's dead these days, they say, but things like Adrian Burness' 200 games, you've got your Bulldog Bingo, and it's a real community club, and it's a club on the rise. And I haven't talked about footy at all, but Rosewater will be Hectorville.
Yeah, Rosewater for me.
Oh, next one. Now we go to Edward Smith Reserve. We've got Green Eggs and Pulteney.
Right next to the jail there.
Right next to the jail. I'm going for Pulteney, even though they both had a loss last week. Then Pulteney again, ace at the front there. He will lead the way, so Pulteney for me.
Yeah, so it's 7th versus 8th. Pulteney yet to have a win there this year, though. I don't trust Pulteney. I'm sorry. I'll take Greenacres.
Last week, when the producer forgot to push record, we did talk about.
That's not actually what happened, but there was technical difficulties.
We're going to run with
We're
it.
not going to bury him that
We're
bad.
going to run with it, okay?
No one's that stupid.
Anyway, Pulteney, which Lockleys we played previous week, I spoke to Brian Lees after the game. A lot of kids in that side.
Brian Lees, of course, is coach
the
of Monunga.
sorry, I've got that wrong. Sorry, I've stuffed up. Pulteney, Pulteney have got a lot of good young players in that side. I think they'll be probably too fast for Green Acres this week. A lot of ageing people in the Green Acres side, so yeah, Pulteney for me.
All right. We'll agree to disagree.
Yep.
We'll save that one for game of the round, I think.
We will.
And Glenunga and Elizabeth. This one is at Webb Oval. Glenunga, of course, coach.
Brian Lees.
You've probably got some mail on that. Glenunga, they need a win. They had a rough year last year. This is 9th versus 10th. They're both 0 on 3. It's a matter of who wants it the worst. I saw some pictures, I think you'd call them, of Glenunga's new facilities. And
Amazing, I've been told. Yep.
I'd be inspired to play good footy. Elizabeth haven't impressed us so far this year. I'll take Glenunga at home.
Yeah, Glenunga at home.
Back on my rant before, Glenunga full of a lot of young players. Glenunga for me.
I'll say this, if they hold Chadburg to less than 2 goals, Elizabeth will win.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, but I don't think they will. And Lockleys and Blackfriars.
Someone will remain undefeated
right.
Saturday night.
Unless it's a draw. It's 1v2. They're both 3-0. You know plenty about Lockleys. Let's talk a little bit about Blackfriars. Have you seen much of Blackfriars over the last few years?
Alex Bojanic was the coach. He's done
Big BJ.
Big BJ. He's done very good job there at Blacks. Your Hillman brothers, your Bryn Cats, your Sammy Horswood, blokes like that that have been running around with Blacks for years.
Yep.
Quality week in, week out.
Yep. I'm leaning towards Lockleys, Darcy. Do you know why? A couple of reasons. Their oval faces the wrong way, and it's a lot bigger than Blackfriars. You've got your on bowlers up and about, and if you get first use out of Lockleys ovals, you should win games of footy, and I think you'll do that.
Lockies as well. They're on fire at the moment. We've got a bit of a soft spot for them. We're just around the corner from Parks, and they're on fire this week.
They are just recently relocated a couple of years ago to the Glenelg zone, so I've got a bit to do them as well. Very happy to be part of the
Eagles
Lockleys
Footy Club.
Yeah, we West.
No, Eagles.
Took them off Eagles.
Anyway, we won't.
Eagles and West and Glenelg.
Oh, is it back again, does it? Okay.
Anyway, don't argue.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we've learned that.
There you go. You've been watching the Tiff Up. That rather awkward finish to this. You've been watching
Nearly
the
as
Tiff
awkward
Up.
as waking up with you on a Sunday.
Oh, it certainly would be. We'll see you next week.
Bye.